This week's EV news: Vietnamese EV startup VinFast is worth more than Ford after its US IPO. Lamborghini's all-electric Lanzador is its most powerful car ever. A pioneering solar carport array is launched in the UK. Jaguar's I-Pace will be retired by 2025, along with its internal combustion engine stablemates. And after a stratospheric start, VinFast stock comes crashing back down to earth. Welcome back to another EV news. Last week's video caused quite the stir, and there's a link to that in the description if you haven't seen it already. As always, please like this video, and if you're new here, subscribe with notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on the next one. If you're interested in supporting the channel and getting access to some exclusive content, channel memberships are now available. From just 99p per month, you can become a channel member and you'll get access to members only content. Do check that out if you're interested in lending your support. If you see any news stories you'd like to feature in these EV news videos, maybe next week or in the coming weeks, please let me know by submitting the form at www.dothisnext.co.uk, where you can supply details of something you've seen that you'd like to cover. It's really good to cover stories that people are interested in, rather than me just sort of picking random ones. So if you've seen something that you're interested in that you think would appeal to others, do let me know. First up, we have a bit of a story of two halves, so make sure you keep watching right to the end to get the full story. VinFast, a loss-making Vietnamese electric car maker, has overtaken the value of Western rivals, including Ford, in its first day of stock market trading in the US. The company was valued at $85 billion, overtaking Ford, General Motors and Stellantis. One of the few Vietnamese companies to be listed in the US, VinFast started building its North Carolina factory last month. The plant is expected to have an initial capacity of 150,000 vehicles a year, and the company plans to begin production in 2025. The listing comes after VinFast merged with Black Spade Acquisition, a so-called Special Purpose Acquisition Company, or SPAC. SPACs are shell companies which raise money by listing on the stock market for the purpose of acquiring existing businesses. Investors have piled in on this SPAC craze in recent years, excited about the rapid shift to electric cars. But it doesn't always turn out particularly well. US electric truck maker Lordstown Motors lost 99% of its value since listing in a 2020 SPAC deal. It entered bankruptcy last month. There's more to come from VinFast later in this video, so do keep watching to see how that record-breaking value is getting on. Next up, in a break from the typical kind of stuff we feature on this channel, Lamborghini has revealed what its all-electric future might look like. Its 1,341 horsepower Lanzador is by a long way the most powerful car the brand has ever produced. With an innovative Gran Turismo 2+2 concept, the Lanzador stands out for the design that is both rebellious and futuristic, yet retains Lamborghini's unmistakable DNA, characterised by uncompromising charisma and sportiness, anticipating a truly unique experience aimed at a new generation of technology-forward customers, apparently. The Lanzador is equipped with two electric motors, one for each axle, providing all-wheel drive and efficiency in all driving conditions, on all surfaces and in every driving style. The system delivers a peak power that exceeds 1 megawatt. Lanzador represents a true milestone for Lamborghini as the company continues actively working to electrify its entire range of vehicles and to achieve decarbonisation. The new concept car is part of a broad strategy to reduce CO2 emissions and embrace a more sustainable vision for the future. Now, whilst it's, let's be honest, completely irrelevant to most people, I do find it quite interesting when you have a nailed-on supercar maker announcing they are moving towards going electric. I think some people are convinced that they'll just keep cranking out V12s forever and pinning their hopes on synthetic fuels to carry on burning stuff forever. But every time another concept like this appears, it would suggest that that dream is slipping further and further away. Now, I'm sure you'll all be first in line for a Lanzador should one ever actually make production, this just being a concept at the moment. Let me know what you think in the comments. Next up, Northumberland County Council is celebrating the launch of its new state-of-the-art solar carport array, one of the biggest of its kind in the UK. The project includes a covered parking area with a solar canopy, designed and built by UK Power Network Services. It will provide clean energy to the council's headquarters at County Hall in Morpeth. It's one of the largest carport array installs in the UK, with 800 kilowatts of solar panels and 400 kilowatt hours of battery storage. It's estimated that it will save between £100,000 and £150,000 a year on energy costs, which can be invested in council services, as well as over 250 tonnes of carbon emissions every year. As well as this, 120 EV charge points, including 100 fast and 20 rapid, have been installed in the staff car park, including some dedicated for accessible parking bays. This will make it easier for staff with EVs to charge their cars with no reduction in the number of staff parking spaces for combustion engine vehicles. The council plans to use this model to test the suitability of installing similar solutions in their public car parks to reduce costs, meet carbon targets, and improve the resilience of electricity supplies. Now that sounds really good to me. Northumberland have clearly identified a fantastic opportunity here and have seized it. Solar panels are a no-brainer for an awful lot of car park locations like this, and I've always said workplace charging is absolutely essential for the EV transition. And if it can be powered by the sun, then even better, right? Let me know what you think in the comments. Would you like to see more councils embrace this kind of install and actually get on with it at a big scale and do a proper job like this? There must be loads of council car parks that could host something like this. So I think Northumberland could well be setting the blueprint here. Used bargain of the week time. I know it's not a Renault Zoe this week, honest, although the pre-reg ones that are kicking around do look like a bit of a bargain. Used bargain of the week, of course, is the section where I find something cheap-ish on AutoTrader and bring it to your attention. Okay, we're going to stretch the definition of bargain this week, I think. But how about this 2021 Audi e-tron GT for £51,500? It's a Taycan with an Audi badge on, and it's a good £8,000 cheaper than the cheapest Taycan in the country. Now, I'm not 100% convinced I'll be rushing to buy a £51,500 car from a so-called private seller that describes themselves as we in the advert and has taken photos in a Tesco car park where the hand car wash is. Those are some pretty big red flags right there. I think if you ask me to describe things about a car advert that might be a little bit dodgy, it ticks quite a lot of the boxes. 34,000 miles on the clock and one owner from new. But I do wonder who's buying cars like this. I mean, surely, if you're in the market for an e-tron GT, you'll just go to an Audi main dealer and buy an approved used one. Might cost you a little bit more, but significantly less risk involved, surely. But it is the cheapest around. It looks like value if you can get over the risk factor, and obviously you would do your due diligence, HPI checks, all that stuff. But let me know what you think. Are you brave enough to buy a £51,500 car from a Tesco's car park? I think that might even be a step too far for me. Jaguar have announced that the I-Pace will not be part of its firm's all-electric lineup, even as a bridging model, and it will be taken off sale before they go all-electric in 2025, along with the rest of the current model range. Officially confirmed by their CEO, Adrian Mardell, the move reverses his predecessor's suggestion that the I-Pace would be made better and better, and for it to remain on sale, perhaps even with a second generation model launching alongside Jaguar's new all-electric cars. The precise end dates for the I-Pace and the other Jaguar lineup has yet to be fully determined, whilst the firm waits to see when it can more precisely commit to a launch date of this new range of models. For now, Jaguar has said that it will reveal its first new era car in late 2024 for launch in 2025. And that will be built on the firm's bespoke JEA electric architecture. Mardell said that the I-Pace is now mainly sold in the UK and mainland Europe to help ensure the company is compliant with its emissions targets. He added that the car has been a big help in steering development of the firm's other EVs, and that Jaguar Land Rover understands how to develop those off the back of the I-Pace programme. Quite a few people consider the I-Pace to be a little bit long in the tooth these days, I think, not really keeping pace with the competition. I'm quite surprised they're not revamping it, refreshing it to keep up with that, but maybe putting their all into this new custom platform they're developing will yield the best results. There are some real bargains on used I-Pace at the moment, not just the ropey ones either. I saw a 2-year-old one for 36 grand the other day. So maybe the market is turning against the I-Pace as well. Who knows? And finally, back to VinFast, where the value has dropped almost as quickly as the time you've been watching this video. Once valued at more than GM and Ford combined, VinFast share prices have taken a beating, only a few days after their IPO, falling to 1/3 of what they were worth at their peak. Whilst the degree to which the car maker's shares are changing is noteworthy, it isn't surprising, according to Reuters. The company's founder controls around 99% of the shares, so the small amount of stock available for public trading on the stock market opens it to volatility. Meanwhile, there's evidence to suggest that the price could continue to fall since VinFast is likely to need more capital, resulting in more shares being issued and diluting the value of that existing stock. It's also not clear that VinFast will actually be able to hit the sales and profit milestones that warranted its enormous surge in the first place. Although the company has proven it can sell cars in Vietnam, criticisms of the EVs it's been producing have been particularly harsh in the US. And of course, like many EV startups, VinFast isn't profitable yet. It lost around $600 million in the first quarter of 2023, after spending more than $1 billion trying to build its business in markets around the world. So, I wouldn't recommend selling the family silver and ploughing it into VinFast shares just yet. I think it's pretty safe to say. Are they going to be the next Tesla? Take the EV market by storm? Well, probably not. That's it though for this week's EV news. Let me know in the comments what you think of any of all of these stories. As always, make sure you like this video and do subscribe with notifications turned on if you haven't already. If you see any news stories you'd like to feature in next week's video, please let me know by submitting the form at dothisnext.co.uk. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.